So this is a spring pole snare. We're just kind of mock setting it up here. We just have a small, looks like white maple we're using for the spring pole. It's really not that big, but generally if I was to go set this, I want something about 2 inches in diameter that's going to give good significant force for whatever I expect to be trapping, to basically lift the front end of it up, if not lift the whole thing up. Now when I set the snare, I try to, when the whole finished product is done, I only like the snare to be maybe 6 inches off the ground. That way, these very rarely grab the head, I find. So if that's the case, it'll keep something suspended, and if you catch something you don't want, it gives you a chance to let it go. But the way it works is your rope comes down, comes onto a toggle. Toggle goes through a fork. This fork's down in the in the dirt. What would you say, Ben? Maybe 5 inches, 5-6 inches now.
Yeah. Our first one in your hand.
The first one in my hand was not long enough for the rocky ground here, so we had to make a bigger one. The second one has a 7-notch cut in it, and you can see that my trip stick has a V notch and a 7-notch that mirror together, and the other end just rests on the toggle. And your idea would be you would tie your snare to the string going up, you would lay it around on the inside of these two supports on a game trail or something, and the critter or whatever would come along, and you make it so they want to touch this stick, and when they touch the stick, they would push that down. This isn't going to work, of course. No, it did work, but anyway, it would flip that out, and it would snare up. And you will have to do some fine details on getting your toggle to be just the right length, where we had to bury that so far. That's what's kind of being our problem. Getting it to stay in the ground was kind of an issue. Try setting it one more time.
And you were saying also you have this is paracord, you usually use a smaller gauge rope.
Yeah, that's another prime example. This would be great for bank line, or as you said, Ben, in a pinch, peel your paracord and use the inner cords. Pull that down. Let the weight come up. There we go. So it's really a pretty simple trap all in all in its functionality. I would take your V off the ground a little more. Once again, we're kind of dealing with some rocky ground here, which is making it hard to stay in the ground and hold the weight of the tree, even though it's not that big of a tree. But I like to leave about 2 to 3 inches of gap, so I'd really want my toggle to be up about here, because for me, this is a trap I'd use to try and get like a pheasant, a grouse, a rabbit. Not really a squirrel trap in my eyes, but I suppose if you made it right, you could do such. See if it'll trip this time. There you go. And yeah, make your snare onto the line, and hopefully that'll get you some supper. And with all traps, the more you set, the more chance you would have at actually catching something. And remember, if you set a trap, you have to check it. Don't leave it. Don't forget about it. You don't want something there just suffering for no reason. And these are survival tactics, not for normal trapping, because I don't think they're legal unless it's in a survival situation. But anyway, that's that.